Hi, I'm Josh Haley.
And I'm Bryson Lewis, and we are baseball preseason All-Americans.
And you're watching the Black and Gold Report on WFXV.
Hello Braves fans, and welcome to another installment of the Black and Gold Report, a program all about UNC Pembroke athletics. I'm Kevin Freeman, and today on the show we're going to talk a little wrestling with head wrestling coach O.T. Johnson. And the second half of the program we're going to preview women's tennis along with head coach Robin Langley. But first, we're joined by Coach Johnson. Coach, welcome back to the program. Good to see you again.
Thank you. Thank
you
very much for having me.
The first time I talked to you on the show a few weeks ago, you mentioned that the regular season is simply to prepare the team for NCAA regionals, which are coming up this weekend, as you know. That being said, give us your assessment of your first regular season as head coach.
Well, we've had, I would say, a pretty good regular season. Like I said, everything is preparation to get us to this point where we are. So I feel like we've done a good job as a group of coaches, and the athletes have done a good job just adjusting to essentially a new coaching staff and just trying to do their best to just mesh with us, and as we try to get to learn the new kids and just try to put together the best team we can on the mat every time we step out there.
Fantastic. Let me ask you, one issue that the team has had this season is that you've struggled to find anybody at the 125 weight class, the lightest weight class in college wrestling, and you were forced to forfeit a number of matches this year just because you simply didn't have anybody at that weight class, and you ended up starting in the whole 6 points with a lot of these matches. Tell us a little bit about the series of events that led to the vacancy at 125.
Well, we as crazy as it sounds, we started off with 5 of them, and slowly but surely, between guys not having the confidence to think that they were the guy, or just not being able to hack out the workload of coming with college academics and athletics, put together. Guys quit, injuries. We had 2 guys that had season-ending injury. One of them is Sean Topper, who was having a great season, and another one in Dylan Bernier, who had a Tommy John surgery on his elbow, and James Baker, who's going to be the guy that wrestles for at regionals. He has some rib injuries that he's finally recovering from, and he's going to be as good as he can be considering the circumstances. And just this year has been the 125, which ironically has been one of our stronger weight classes in the past, but that just comes with the territory. In years past we've had guys at the 141 weight class or at the 133 weight class, so this just happened to be the year that the 25-pounders were just the unlucky group.
Sometimes it's just bad luck, like you said. So, but you will have somebody, it looks like, for 125 at the regionals, which is good news. So, as we said, NCAA regionals are this weekend, and UNCP has the honor of hosting the event. At least there's 4 regionals that go on around the country. First, what does it mean for you and for UNCP to host this event?
Well, it showcases our campus, our university, and our great athletics we have going here. We are the only school in the South that has the venue to be able to host a tournament of this caliber, and obviously with South Carolina having their issues, that puts us in a good position to be able to really host this event once every 2 to 3 years if we really choose to. And obviously we felt like, hey, this is a year we need to send these group of seniors out, at least having a regional tournament in their own home gym and giving them the opportunity to wrestle for a national qualification berth in front of their home crowd. So it's great to know that anytime we want to host that, we can.
And I was told, I think it was by Coach Kinney, that there's sort of an understanding between the southern schools and the schools up in Pennsylvania and up in West Virginia that are also part of this region, that you kind of flip-flop. You play in North one year and play South one year, and it just so happened that this was the time, right?
Right, absolutely.
Okay. How much of a home gym or home mat advantage is there for your wrestlers, do you think, being able to do this tournament at home?
Well, as you know, with our sport, there's a lot that goes into not just the practice and preparation of getting ready or putting together a match plan, but you have to deal with the weight cutting, and with that comes just traveling on the bus for in our position hours, and especially when you're going up north, you're looking at least an 8-hour drive to some of the nearest schools. So our guys being able to stay here and work out, getting an extra day of training in their own home mats, and just sleeping in their own beds, it really helps as far as just keeping us straight, and for the coaching staff, we don't have to go through all the logistics of traveling and setting up, hotels, or setting up the guys' room assignments, and just trying to find a hotel for the bus driver, for ourselves, and all the things that go into that. We just focus on getting them ready and putting them on the mat and getting ready to wrestle.
So the advantage comes from things that you don't do just as much as it does from teams that you do. Well, we've got 30 seconds or so left, Coach. How many teams are going to be at this regional?
There'll be 13 teams, all the way from American International, which is in Massachusetts, all the way down to Newberry, South Carolina.
And I assume most of these teams will have a full 10 team or 10 wrestler allotment, or
more or less, yeah.
Okay.
But more than likely, we'll have about 130 wrestlers.
That's quite a bit. All right, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about wrestling with the coach, so stay tuned.